So I just shuffled these cards. We got three of swords on the bottom of the deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the channel message that I got. Why are you not heartbroken? Or why do you not remain in a heartbroken energy for long? Why do you come out, victorious in a situation? Why you? Why are you able to still progress and ascend and transmute and progress? I already said that. Well, let's talk about why. The secret isn't actually a secret, now is it? So the message that I was getting, what's the difference between individuals coming out with positive outcomes in a situation, regardless of how it may appear to be, immediately or like during the actual experience, right? But the outcome. What guarantees a person having a positive outcome in whatever situation or encounter that they have with other individuals? Well, you know, people like to exaggerate us being created out of good and evil, light and darkness, right? With that being said, the whole excuse or oblivion of, oh, I didn't realize what I did was wrong. I didn't realize that action that I took or those particular words that I said was harming this person, or I don't feel anything. My sensories doesn't go off, you know, whenever there's a certain energy present in the room. I get no downloads, no inklings, no hints and stuff about, the energy being off or the elephant in the room. Now, is any of that really true? Am I saying it's never true? I'm not saying that. I'm asking, is any of that really true in most situations? Do you really not feel when you are doing something wrong, or when you have wronged someone, or how someone may possibly, or how something you do or don't do may possibly disturb another person's peace? Do you really not know? Do you not have feelings and emotions in a mind of your own to understand that certain behaviors or certain things that you say or don't say, do or don't do, may be harmful to another individual? You know, I don't think people truly intentionally do things to harm another person. I don't. However, at the same time, I know that people intentionally do things to others to cause harm. What am I saying? It sounds contradicting. Well, what I'm saying is, I don't believe people intuitively intend to cause harm or hurt. I don't think they discerningly know. Um, I don't think they discerningly know better. When the Spirit of Christ talks about forgive them for they know not what they do, right? I really, truly, I strongly believe that intuitively they really do not know what they are doing in the heat of the moment, or the decision or the action, when they are causing harm to another person. Do these people harm or hurt you or try to hurt individuals intentionally? Yes. But on a deeper level, I don't believe so. Um, I'm gathering my words, gathering my thoughts. I see somewhat of a pattern, you know. I don't think what the Most High intended for us chosen ones to do, or the direction for us to go in, is for us to develop like these strong negative discordance with other individuals who are not as progressed on their spiritual journey. Um, when you think about Christ, Yeshua, um, being able to come to the level of prostitutes and thugs and all these different kind of people, right? And sick individuals, people who are diseased, people who are at the moment imbalanced, right? People who are unwell, people who are unhealthy in that current version of themselves along their journey. When you are diseased, meaning it is further from divinity or far from divinity, far from um, good, feeling good, being, you know what I'm saying? It's far from the Spirit of God. It's almost like the human body, how you have proximal, which is towards the top. Dog, I just had a thought, and okay, it got away from me. Got away from me. But basically, the opposite word that explains the downward. So the further away from the heart center of the body, right? So usually, heaven is associated with highness, the most high, above, and then darkness and you know more devilish energies, malevolent, malicious energies. They're more deeper or more towards below that low vibration. So again, how can you really speed up the healing process when you experience or have bad experiences with other people? When the Most High says pray for your enemies, it's like we have to draw the connections. We have to remember and at the same time step out of our own egos, even when we are chosen ones. And even when we are better versions of ourselves than whatever current version that they may be living out of. Sometimes we still can get in our own egos. Sometimes our pride can still get in the way, right? Because you don't want to get into a space where you start having these kind of thoughts of demonizing the person themselves. Um, because it's so easy to do. Are you going to recognize mishaps, imbalances, those things that we define as bad or out of balance or inconvenient, low vibrational? Yes, we can acknowledge those things. And can we acknowledge that a person may be currently consumed with that energy and it may not be safe or wise or secure for you to allow your vessel to be around this person or allow this person to partake in your energetic field? Absolutely. Absolutely. However, regardless of how things come out when it comes to communicating or expressing how you feel in the heat of a moment or when emotions are kind of stirred or whatever, regardless of what you may say during that moment, there needs to be a time and space where you're able to meditate and truly reflect, right, over the matter and properly see it with spiritual eyes. So basically, in the moment, and especially when you can recognize these imbalances, right, and you may quote unquote call them out on it, try to have a conversation with them about it. You want to address it, be direct on the matter. Let's heal this thing. I see an open wound in your energetic field. Like, I have some tools or some things that might aid. I have some things that might expedite the healing. you know I can suggest these things, I can offer up these things. However, I can't force you to utilize these tools, right? So again, the Most High says, behold, Like, may I have your attention? I stand at the door and knock, right? I'm making myself available. I'm making myself accessible. And not only that, but I come bearing necessities. I come bearing things that are essential that may aid you in your imbalance, in your dis-ease, right? I'm not going to kick your door down. I'm not going to break in and cause destruction to, your things. I'm not going to do that just to get you to accept these tools and, this, that, and the third, right? So I'll knock at the door. You may not answer. Cool. I'll come back tomorrow, maybe even try a better time of the day. So I come and I knock tomorrow. You don't answer. So I leave a note in your door that you know that I stopped by. You didn't answer the door. I figured either you were occupied, busy, or didn't want to be bothered. Cool. Let's say the following day I give you a phone call. Still no response. Okay, well, let me fall back for a couple of days, but at least I made it known to you. At least I let you know that I am available. I am accessible to you, right? You know how to contact me. You know that you can contact me. That space is open. That safe space, that security is available to you, right? That healing is available to you. And I will, subtly suggest it to you. I will guide you to it, right? But I'm not going to force you to accept these things. There's options, right? When it comes to people choosing how to restore themselves, we have options and we also have willpower, right? I can choose to go and get my body done because my imbalance is my being overweight or being what I would define as, unsatisfying about my physical appearance. So I will, there's the option for me to go and buy my body the way I want it to be. There's also the option for me to work out, eat healthy, do better with my lifestyle choices. And, you have options. There's options for me to refer to pharmaceutical medicines and, chemicals and these type of things. Or I can refer to herbs, right? So we have options in how we can heal, aid, and restore ourselves. But it's up to you on whatever option you're going to choose. Just know that these options are available to you. I will hope that you utilize your discernment, right, to select the best option to achieve the results that you desire, right? With that being said, to really overcome internalizing when people really hurt us, like really deeply hurt us or disappoint us, to really overcome that, we have to always draw back to the Most High. We have to always go back to the root of it all. What are the roots? We have to go back to where it all started, where we all started. Why is grounding yourself back to the root, right? Why are so many aspects of nature reflections of our actual bodies and vessels and how we manifest when it comes to our existence? You have to go to the root of it all. What is the root of you being here, being present in this lifetime, in this particular vessel? What is the root of it all? Your soul. What is the root of your soul? The Most High. You have to always go back to the root to address the matter, to correct the matter, to heal and aid, right? To modify and adjust, to observe, to be able to discern what's problematic, to be able to discern what's helpful, right? What are the assisting agents, right? Be so intrigued and enthused to learn and find out and discover how, what can I do to develop solutions to address this particular matter or root problem? What are preventative measures that I can apply moving forward based off my experience, right? simple. You go to the root of the matter. When you're trying to understand why people are making the decisions that they're making, right? When you're trying to understand why people are acting out of, unruly behaviors, when you're trying to process and understand why somebody is unable to be receptive to genuine love, why people are defensive to being accountable, to honest communication, to vulnerability, like why? Why? Go to the root of the matter. Do not internalize how somebody is currently expressing that particular version of themselves. A version of themselves where it may be darker around their energetic field because they're clearly vibrating lower, right? So it may be darker. Their perception may be a little skewed, right? There may be there may be a couple linings of veils over their perception of self, their perception of others, right? Why does it seem like sometimes some people, not to say that people don't abuse, the mask of oblivion, because some people do. And even in that, even if it's it's intentional, it's still more than likely not intuitively intentional. Because of the vulnerable state that they're in whenever they consume evil, wickedness, or darkness, right? Because of them opening that door to possibly pick up or to shelter entity attachments and, darker spirits and those type of things. Because at the end of the day, your body is a temple, your body is a house, your body is a vessel, your body is a garden. When you have a temple and you have a house, just like your womb, your sacred space is a portal. The point is, people, there's a such thing as entry. There's a such thing as entering and exiting. It's written all up and through your lifestyle, your very existence. You put the food in your mouth, you shit the food out your ass. Period. Period. There's a cycle of entry and exit. Genesis, Exodus, right? You know how many houses that stand before us, where on the outside it's well kept, but on the inside it's cluttered, it's filled with all type of dark energies, right? Obsessions, addictions, anything could be going on in that house. There's a such thing as crack houses. There's a such thing as houses where people go inside literally to do drugs with each other, literally to kill themselves slowly, right? That's the thing. So how does that relate or correlate to our actual bodies, our actual existence, our vessels? Because it does. It does. You could have moldy floorboards. We really have to be reminded how detailed the Most High is, how complex and simple at the same time of an artist he is. She is the all in all, the divine feminine masculine, all of it, the yin yang balance, earth and water, fire and air, right? The details. one of the first defense mechanisms is for you to convince yourself that you hate somebody, you dislike this person, you find this person distasteful. You've gotten to see a close look of all of their, imbalances when they, played out, or, when they manifested, or when they were conjured based off whatever, trigger, whatever, right? We get to see these things first glance in these people's lives, who we're blessed to see, get a closer look into their eyes and into their energetic field, into their lives, and vice versa, right? And when you're in somebody's energetic field, they trust you enough to really allow yourself to, or allow you to be immersed in their energetic field, and like really get a chance to look underneath the veil, whether they verbally express it or not, right? That's really big. That's not something to take lightly, regardless of the outcome, or, how things close out. And it's also not an excuse to take, the vulnerabilities that we witness and then turn around and weaponize um, these people's, like, you get what I'm saying? Like that energy, like if you're considering company, or somebody's considering like coming over and stuff like that, right? And you want your home, or you want, your space to be presented a certain type of way. Like, you may get a little self-conscious about, well, are they going to judge me because of this, and because I need to do that, and I need to fix this, and I need to fix that? Like, are they going to judge me? That's how it is when we take the risk of, merging energetic fields with somebody else. Are there ways to shield your energy and protect your energy, and, retain that level of mystery? Absolutely. But even in mystery, you also don't want to abuse that energy as well. And it can be abused when you're vibing low, when you don't know better, or when it hasn't registered, when you're not, when you're no longer, or when you're in the energy of denying your higher self, when you're in the energy of also, let's say there's some type of obstruction, right? Yeah. So let's say there's some type of obstruction. There's soil. There's seeds planted in the soil. And, without deep care, deep thought, right? You have these people who are focused on some other goal here. And so they come and they pave cement over that soil and those seeds, those potential flowers. There's some type of obstruction. The flowers didn't ask for it. Those seeds didn't ask for the obstruction, It's not like they weren't where they shouldn't have been. They were in the soil where they belong, right? Buried. Are we not aware that there's a such thing as flowers growing through pavement? So it's not that it's not doable, right? It's not that you deserved it all the time. Were you disturbed? Were you met with a challenge to overcome? Absolutely. But it doesn't have to be because you're a bad person. But also, with these tower moments, right? Not only are tower moments the opportunity for the Most High to be developed, the spirit of the Most High to be developed within a person, right? But it's also an opportunity for evil energies, right? Malicious forces. It's also an opportunity. Opportunity of a lifetime can be tower moments, right? For devils. Because Depending on how thorough you deeply investigate the root of the problem, right? While being patient in the process, and while referring and always referencing, always seeking clarity and confirmation from the divine, right? Information. Gathering information, investigating, right? Searching, soul searching. Yes. But we have to, it's like we can't be oblivious to the fact that, yes, this is an opportunity for things to go left, right? It's also an opportunity for things to go right. However, discernment is necessary. Understanding the necessity of death and rebirth. Understanding that what you starve dies and what you feed grows. Understanding that just because your physical physique, your physical body may appear one way, your soul can reflect a totally different appearance. I remember having this conversation with a friend some years ago, and I told her, if your spirit man was to step outside of your body and stand before you, right? What would it tell you? What would it ask of you? What would it request? What would it suggest for you to do to aid the burdens, right, experienced? Or the things that burden your soul, your sacred self? What would it ask of you? What would it report to you? What would be its review to your actual physical self, your physical body, right? What would it say to you? What would it look like? Would it be malnourished? Would it be anorexic? Would it be diseased, sick, imbalanced, healthy, strong, lean, right? Vibrant, dull? What would it reflect to you? What would it look like? The root of the problem, the root of it all. Protect the sacred self. Imagine you do all that is necessary on the outside of the house, but you totally neglect that there's mold and there's termites in your staircase. And y'all still traveling up and down these stairs, disregarding, like you see, you see the chipped, pieces of wood and stuff, and you notice the signs. You peep the signs type shit. And it's not to say that you won't have some time, to come back around to it, because you will. You will. Intuition available. Intuition is always available. Do everyone utilize it? Do everyone choose to honor it? No. But it's always available. It's always available to support your highest good. To support your highest good. To support your balance. Always available. It's like that feeling you get if you were to lay inside of a hammock, right? That seal, that encasing around you. Just like how we start off, right? The root of it all, the root, that encasing, right? The womb, when you're an embryo, the encasing of the sacral chakra, right? A balance of water, fire, air, and earth. That's how your intuition serves, or that's how our intuition and our discernment serves us, right? It can act as an encasing, right? Almost like a chastity belt, a bulletproof vest type shit, right? A protective suit if you utilize it and apply it. So the secret is not actually a secret. You know, like how, you know, the book, The Secret, the movie that they have with it, excuse me, about manifestation and alchemy and all those things. It's not really a secret. It's not really a secret. But again, there's just, it's like we really have to be mindful to make sure we retain our purity of heart. We can recognize the challenges, right? We can recognize the challenges, you know. We can discuss it. We can discuss the outcomes from said challenges. We can, you know, we can discuss the feelings and emotions that are conjured, right? The type of behaviors that we feel pulled to engage in order to cope, in order to get through, in order to survive. You know, we're very intelligent and complex, you know, existence, you know, to be able to derive all these forms of verbiage and terminology for the experiences that we experience, for the, you know, so to, you know, the fact that we, you know, we talk about things like this, you know, survival mode. We talk about things like fight or flight. You know, we talk about these things, you know, we name these things. And many of us can resonate with it somewhere down the line, you know, on our journey of evolution, right? But things could be really simple. We got nurturing source, or source nurturing. The source of our nurturing. What makes us nurturing? What makes us what makes us compassionate? Boundaries. With this being said, let's talk about compassion. Compassion is an unseen force, yet felt, right? Compassion can sometimes feel like no compassion at all. Compassion can look like, I recognize how me remaining in your particular presence, in this particular environment, me continuing this particular cycle, I can recognize, right? And notice how damaging this is to myself, to my mind, right? To my body, to my emotional space, to my spiritual self, my spirit man. I can recognize how something or how this thing is damaging, right? So out of compassion, an unseen thing, I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to set boundaries, strong boundaries that I have contemplated and investigated and developed through the Most High, with the Most High, to make sure that I am still, not only just still only in alignment, but to make sure I retain the purity of my heart, to make sure I am still in alignment with Source, right? So that at any time when I need that grace is extended to me. regardless of what changes, what happens with other people in their homes, their temples, the ambiance of that temple, whatever the case may be, the furniture, the flooring, regardless of the condition of these other homes, regardless of the tone that is set inside of that home, I'm still going to retain mine. And not only am I going to be noble and humble in what I am allowed to see and experience when it comes to other people's homes, I'm also going to recognize what I need to maintain, become disciplined in, apply, right? Remove from my vessel, from my temple, from my garden to ensure healthy growth, to ensure that what needs to blossom blossoms in its timely fashion. And it's not for me to be able to say I'm better than you. But like I always say, everybody is a school of information. Whether it's about you learning what not to do or learning what to do. Everybody is a school of information. It doesn't matter what level of the spectrum of life satisfaction they may be on, of spiritual growth that they may be on. Everybody is a school of information. You're walking information. There's details into that house externally. There's details into that vessel internally. That's a lot of information. Your DNA itself is information. The details. Boundaries. Compassion. Right? I'm going to make sure I put things in proper, perspective. I'm going to address the root of the matter. I'm going to investigate the root of the matter so I can properly see this through a spiritual lens and not allow my emotions or not allow, my flesh to really consume confusion. So instead, let's investigate the matter. Let's try to converse on it. Let's try to develop a solution. Let's make an attempt to give an honest try at things. To put in genuine effort. To keep intentions pure. Right? After doing these things, again, if I can recognize I am being damaged more than I am being aided, more than I am being refurbished or restored or rejuvenated, I can recognize these imbalances and how, I'm in this house with this mold and I'm starting to get sick. It's not even my house, but I'm in the energetic field. I'm in the energetic field, despite what tools I've offered, what advice I've suggested, this person is still not addressing the root of the matter. And I'm still here, breathing in this, this polluted air, this polluted space. And it's starting to take a toll on me. What is the responsible thing to do? Remove yourself. Remove yourself. Boundaries. I am entitled to say no. To protect my sacred self. You are entitled to you, to yourself. But when does entitlement always get spoken about, right? When somebody feels like they're entitled to your energy, they're entitled to your house, your home, your vessel, your temple, your garden. These peppers that you see done sprouted out and is fully grown, you don't know what intentions I have with those peppers. What makes you feel like you can just come and take the pepper? If there's there's no proper communication established, right? There's no type of equal exchange, right? If I take from you in this moment, right? Am I giving to you in the next moment? It's like, where's the balance? Is there balance there? Is there balance, right? Are we truly increasing our ability to respond in the most aligned fashion that we're able to develop from the current version of ourselves that we are? Will it always be, completely accurate? Does it have room for improvement? Absolutely, because you can always exceed higher levels of yourself. Again, literally, our makeup of who we are is reflected all around us. A staircase itself, the fact that stairs are created for you to start from a lower level to rise to a higher level, that's reflected within ourselves. And the versions of ourselves that we're able to ascend to and transmute to. Boundaries. If they're not making you a priority, don't make them a priority. It's not a matter of matching energy. You're moving accordingly. You're doing responsible energetic exchange. Period. Will there be miscellaneous, or will there be multiple reasons, right, behind why people make poor decisions, why people choose to do bad things, right? Why people hurt others? Yes, there will be a plethora of reasons. We can talk about it, as you can see all over social media. We can talk about it for days and months and years. We can talk about why or how somebody did something wrong, did something bad, did something malicious to us. We could have plenty of conversations about that, and people are. But you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful, because what energies are being spoken about, what energies are being addressed. Not saying that we sweep it under the rug, because that's not the thing to do either. But in addressing these energies, you still need to slow down and make sure you are putting things in a proper perspective. You're not over consuming when it comes to your flesh, right? And starving your spirit, man, whenever you're trying to debate these type of topics. And there's times, when we hurt ourselves. We hurt ourselves. For example, if someone in a moment, it doesn't matter if it's intentional or not, if somebody is not that whom you originally wanted to make a priority, right? Or attempted to make a priority in your life. If that person is currently or seemingly not making you a priority, you don't need to make that person a priority. Or you move in a way or fashion so that, whatever actions you express and engage in when you're, when you're making something or someone a priority, right? The consistency, all the things that come with it. You just don't do it. You don't do it, right? And sometimes when we over exceed that, or we overthink and, all of these things, right? We can hurt ourselves. Again, is that saying that person is doing that intentionally? Like, intentionally to harm? Not, no, that's not always the case. But we're going to be tested on these things that we claim we are. If you claim to be a patient individual, a patient person, you're going to be tested on that. Is it to harm you? No. Is it to help you? Is it to edify? Absolutely. You know, I had a very powerful conversation today. And somebody said, when you are starving, you're liable to eat anything. When a person is spiritually starving, you are liable to eat anything just to appease that hunger, those feelings of starvation. So when we really consider the individuals that we have conflict with, that we have discordance with, right? Are we looking at them from the root of the matter? Are we really looking at it from the root? Why is it so integral? Why is it so critical for you to be responsible with your life? To be responsible with your soul? Why? Why is there such thing as a family tree? Why are families, right, associated with trees? What do trees have? Where do they begin from? Their roots. A seed. Why is it so critical for you to make sure you are applying or doing, what it is required of you in order to transmute generational curses or toxic patterns or distorted patterns or distorted, expressions of love? Accountability, closure, whatever the case may be. Why is it critical? Trees die. Trees fall. Then you have some trees that outlive others, right? So why would you want to contribute starvation to that tree? Why would you want to contribute pollution to that tree, poisoning to that tree? Why would you want to contribute destruction, unnecessary destruction to that tree? Why would you want to poison, the roots opposed to restoring and taking good care of it and recognizing what's harming the tree and doing what is necessary, right, to maintain the tree? Not only maintain it, but, help the tree progress and grow even more. Even if that means you have to cut off some things or cut some things away from around that tree's energy or within the tree's energy. In other words, letting people or releasing individuals or walking away. And sometimes this is the best decision for both parties. Because if you are a divine being, you're chosen. And, okay, like we discussed, you're in this person's temple where, the floors are molded, whatever the case may be. You done told the person, you've offered tools to address the issue, and they're not addressing the issue. You're still in this energetic field. You're breathing in this poor air quality. You're becoming sick. You're becoming weaker. What is the responsible thing to do for both parties? Somebody needs to walk away. Somebody needs to remove themselves from the matter because, again, if you're chosen and divine and a person is causing some type of harm to you, hurting you, again, it could be intentionally doing it, but not intuitively intentionally. Forgive them for they know not what they do, right? If that is the case, if that person keeps defiling you, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm, It is irresponsible for you to remain there, knowing that this person is at a current lower vibrational version of themselves and they are likely to harm you, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And what your flesh may do intentionally doesn't mean your soul is doing it intentionally. That's the thing too. So it'll just be best for you to remove yourself to, lessen that person's potency of karma that they're going to have to encounter for what they did to you or how they treated you or mishandled you. That's just law, period. That's the compassionate thing to do. Competition, I am yours alone. Change me, divine beloved, into one who can trust that you alone are the source for all. And you got source right here next to it. You are the source for all. You are the root of all of us, right? Free me from the illusion of scarcity and competition. Let me trust that all needs are always richly met. I am yours alone. It makes no sense. It's like with fighters, right? And a whole thing such as weight class, right? It makes no sense to put somebody weighing 200 pounds in the ring with somebody who weigh 130. Like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. So if you're a higher weight class spiritually, like your spirit man is well fed, well nourished, right? If that's the condition of your spirit man, and then somebody else's is fragile, damn near anorexic, damn near, you feel me, like starving and going through starvation, why is that ever? Why is it? How is it a proper perspective to see this person as competition? Do these people compete with you? Will these people be tempted to compete with you, or see it, or be convinced or confused into thinking it's a competition? Absolutely. But as the more responsible, the person with a more defined ability to respond, how are you going to choose to act in the matter? What's the highest frequency? Love. Unconditional love is not unconditional abuse. That's not what that is. Unconditional love can look like having enough compassion to investigate the root of the issue, to really understand why the person, or attempt to understand, opposed to just completely demonizing the entire matter. But you can discernly select certain things within that person that is demonic energy. You can recognize it. You can acknowledge it. You can demonize the energy itself. Absolutely. Right? For example, I hate dishonesty. You would hate to see someone be abused, or for the fact that abuse is a thing. You hate that. So there's going to be energies that are expressed out of individuals that we hate, that we find distasteful, this, that, and the third. But it's like, be mindful of that pride, out of that pain, that defense, right? That is so easy for us to fall into. It's easy to, it's easy to, not saying that it's invalid, but it's easy to get selfish when it comes to those things. Like, you can really be disappointed, because it's not a secret to rise above these things, because you rose above challenges and whatever. So it's not a secret on how to do it. Source is the answer. Period. You know that. You've shown that. You've modeled that. You've been an example of that. And so it can be disappointing when it seems like somebody is ignoring it. They don't believe it. Their faith is, they don't really have faith. Whatever the case may be, bro, like, we should not be internalizing that. That has nothing to do with us. That has nothing to do with us. When people do harm to you, hurt you, do something bad to you, and damn well you ain't do shit to deserve it, bro, then damn well you didn't do shit to deserve it. Don't internalize it. We tend to internalize those things. We tend to feel like there's something wrong with us. There's something we did wrong. We're bad. And that's why we were met with harsh treatment. No, not exactly. Nope. It's like a mirror maze. All mirrors, even though the subject matter is the same, the person standing in the mirror is the same person. Like, you see them in person, they're going to look like how they look in person, right? But in those mirrors, while all the mirrors are modified and some mirrors are distorted while some are normal, you're going to see different perceptions, different projections of that one person. So depending on what level somebody is at, on their spiritual journey, right, or in their current selves, or current version of themselves, more than likely their perception is going to be distorted of you. But if you have access to the normal mirror and you see yourself as you are, the divine sees yourself as you are, right? Why do we get so, like, tempted? Because it's temptation. Why do we get so tempted to walk away from our normal mirror that's right before us, right? And go and look at all these distorted mirrors, that these other people or other individuals may be seeing you through, type shit. Why are we, confusing our minds and driving ourselves into imbalance, trying to process and understand these distorted mirrors of who we are? You're looking in the wrong mirrors. Why would you look at yourself through somebody else's eyes, type shit? Not saying that people can't suggest certain things, but you have to discern the energy. Is it coming from a place of love? How do your sensory self respond to what somebody is saying, what somebody is doing, how somebody is acting, how somebody is saying something? Like, is it a safe space to communicate and explore and investigate intentions? To investigate what you meant, like, and stuff like that? Or does the person just, they shut you out, they shut down, they close down? How does it make you feel? Does it feel unsafe in that moment when somebody rejects communication? You feel me? Like, if something so simple that could just be talked about, how does it make you feel in the moment? Do you feel triggered? Does your soul feel like it's unsafe, like it's feeling insecure, or like the environment is insecure for the energetic field? Remove yourself, or remove whatever is causing that alarm. It's that simple. If you're allergic to the perfume and it's causing you to break out and get sick and stuff like that, you should probably stop wearing that perfume. You should probably get rid of it. If you really enjoy the smell, maybe investigate the notes of the perfume. Try to identify which particular, note or whatever could be causing some type of, negative reaction, if you want to take it that far. But what's obvious is that it's creating dis-ease. It's creating some type of irritation, some type of imbalance. So let me eliminate, what could possibly be causing it. It's not that you got something, it's not that you hate the perfume. You don't hate the person. You don't hate the smell. It's just it's just not working out for you right now. Maybe you need a different version, a better base, a more natural base, right? So again, that's what leads you to victory. After these tower moments and these what seem like, you know, negative things and the outcomes. This is what gets you the outcomes that you want, that you deserve. Your wish fulfillment. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. But there's options, right? Okay? When you understand and recognize and you're solid and grounded within the energy that you actually embody. For example, let's say the Empress energy, the Magician, the Strength card, the Hierophant, right? These very solid energies, the Queen of Swords, right? The Hermit, Virgo energy. We got Virgo, we got Cancer, we got high vibing Cancer, high vibing Virgo, high vibing Pisces, high vibing Gemini, high vibing Libra, Taurus, Leo, right? Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. High vibing Scorpio. The energy itself, not, it doesn't always have to be people, but that energy. Or you could just embody these energies. We shouldn't, of course, you know, many of us can be past that element of surprise when it comes to people wanting to double back around, come to a safe tower. A safe tower that we presented ourselves to be in their lives. That at the time of whatever version of themselves that they were in, the level of veil cloaking their perception abilities, right? Maybe they weren't able to see it properly. They weren't able to see it clearly, right? Maybe it took for themselves to see themselves through these distorted mirrors and be overstimulated and just have this desire, this strong desire to return to the mirror that looked the most accurate, right? The most accurate perception. Does it boost your ego? Does it stroke your ego? Like, oh, so yeah, I knew they would be bad. Yeah, da, 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 da. Does it boost your ego a little bit? Does it give you a level of closure? Does it give you a level of relief? Yes. Is that something we should really be weaponizing? I'm guilty of having done that before. But is it wise? Is it kind? Is it unconditionally loving? Does it mean I'm going to allow you the same access or even allow you back into my life? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe things can be healed, maybe things need to be left as is, right? Whatever is most fitting to the situation and who and the current versions of yourselves. But in all honesty, if you're going through some type of pain, right? If somebody's put pavement or cement over the bed of planted roses that have not even rose from underneath the soil yet, right? And then you just have this random obstruction, this inconvenience. placed upon you, a challenge that you have to overcome, that you have to break through. Would that not be triggering? Would that not, like you trying to figure out how to break through, how? Going through a period of not knowing how. Going through a period of not feeling strong enough, right? Feeling like the odds are against you, feeling like things are not fair, feeling like, just all of these things, and wondering, God, why would you allow this? And questioning God. Like, you go through these different feelings of emotions as you're fighting to ascend from a lower place, from a dark space. You're fighting to ascend, right? You put in all this effort and you got this obstruction right here that seems impossible. I'm so delicate. I'm so fragile. How am I supposed to break through this pavement? But you find a crack and you grow through that pavement. You grow through the crack of that pavement. You grow outside of it. So yeah, absolutely. As you were saying, it's going to be triggering for these individuals that are still vibing low or feel like they're sinking lower, if they've made decisions that have brought them lower. And they're looking up, seeing you shine, seeing you overcome, seeing you be victorious, seeing that reflect throughout your energy, your frequency, right? It's going to trigger a lot of feelings of grief and all of these things. These individuals are going to want to be apologetic, are going to want to or be tempted to be repentant, right? You may be ignoring them. You may have cut them off, blocked them, or they may have to wait. They may not, you feel me? They need to feel these things. With all that being said, though, with the flower in the pavement analogy, have you never, felt like on your journey of trying to figure out, or trying to get through whatever challenges or darkness and stuff like that, would you really want the Most High to be in an energy of unforgiveness, even though the Most High can see exactly what's going on, why it's happening, how it's happening, what can fix it, what can improve the situation, what can restore it, what needs to be destroyed, what needs to be rebuilt? High Priestess, okay, has the power to help alchemize the situation with the Magician card, to help manifest something better, right? Can give you strength in a moment of weakness. Would you really want the Most High to oppose your energy when you're feeling repentant? When you reach a level of repentance. And don't get me wrong, does the Most High ignore people sometimes? Absolutely. When he says that I will release you over to a reprobated mind, that's the Most High releasing you. Does it always have to be permanent? No. Are you going to make necessary or take necessary action in order, you know what I'm saying, to break through that? Absolutely. What we call doing the work, it's not a secret. It's just a matter of you and your willpower, but it's not a secret. You're not supposed to stay on a titty forever sucking milk and shit. But you learn the sucking reflex, right? So you know how to go and drink or get you something to drink and understand that same process, the same muscles necessary or whatever action is required for you to consume that beverage. That don't mean you're supposed to stay on your mama titty while you big as hell, grown in your 20s and 30s. No. There's progression, there's ascension, there's growth. At least it's supposed to be. Because it's going to happen regardless. The growth is going to happen regardless physically. This whole man child, or these type of, terms that we've developed of people just, being very underdeveloped spiritually but developed outwardly. Your flesh gonna grow regardless. So why does it seem wise or healthy to continue starving your spirit man? To not invest whatever necessary knowledge, right? And wisdom and healing abilities and, restorative methods to the spirit man so that it develops, it develops properly, it develops strong, right? Excuse me. But yeah. When you know better, you do better. Some energies may get aggravated with you. You know how we always see the example in movies or shows where there's somebody going through a season of depression and you feel more inclined to sit in a room of darkness. For whatever reason, your soul or your energy at the time feels inclined to immerse yourself in darkness. There's so many details and complexities to that analogy alone, to that reality alone. But you know how when somebody comes in and then they boom, like open the blinds, like try to let some light in, and it's like, oh, it hurts the eyes, the mirror, the windows of the soul. It hurts the eyes, and you feel me? So some people may see your light and get agitated, frustrated, irritated at first. It may be too penetrating for them at first. Your shine, right? But with sun gazing, when you first when you first look into the sun, you have to allow your eyes to focus. They might get watery. You may have to blink a couple of times before you are able to reach that, that point where you can just focus on the sun and truly gaze without blinking, without being affected negatively. It may take some time to adjust to the shine. And we cannot determine anybody's time of adjustment to shine, to the light, to the divine, to their own light. So that energy of, they didn't see it at the moment, but they see it now, or they didn't see it then, but they see it now. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all want me. Type energy. Their eyes needed to adjust so that it can properly perceive you. They had to find comfort, right? Or become receptive to letting some light come in. They had to free themselves from the illusion of scarcity and competition. Your energy can sometimes make people feel inferior or less than, What does superior mean? Above. And what is your source? What is your root? The supreme God. Right? So you're going to reflect superiority. With that being said, we have to be mindful that we do not be tempted or deceived into the webs of ego and pride. We have to be careful with that. Cause yeah, you can be the motherfucker sugar honey iced tea. Okay? You can even be hibiscus flavored. Shit. You can be all that. You can be all that. Okay? But at the same time, you're not that to affirm, you know, a demonic tactic of making someone feel inferior because of your superiority. It's not something you need to boast about. It's not something you know what I'm saying? That's not what you do with that energy. And if you are doing that, then you're not that. You're not that. Can you recognize and acknowledge that about yourself? Absolutely. So, the temptation, right, with the devil energy being here, the temptation is not only attempting to tempt those in the lower vibration. By experiencing that lower vibrational energy or person, we can be tempted to be low vibrational. We could be tempted to regress, to revert, to decrease, to come down, to be lowered in vibration and frequency. We could be tempted to do that. You know how fear can be paralyzing, right? God didn't give us that spirit. So where else did it come from? You got the Hierophant, you got the devil here. Did it come from the Hierophant? Did it come from the devil? If it's not a secret, and God told us straight up, he did not give us that spirit, why are we entertaining that? Should the Most High be feared? Absolutely. But if he did not give us that spirit, why are we entertaining it? Why are we claiming it? Why are we holding on to it? You know, why are we flirting with the idea? You know, why are we allowing it into our homes, right? It has no regard for our bravery. It has no regard for our courage, right? It has no regard for our peace and our sanity. Why are we allowing it into our sacred self? Why are we allowing it into our sacred space? All right, you guys. So that's going to conclude this reading. And I hope you guys are able to get or gain clarity, confirmation, motivation, encouragement from this read. I ask that you do like the video. Thank you for subscribing, for those of you who newly subscribed. Thank you for considering subscribing. And leave a comment if you would like to chat with me. If you'd like to express your thoughts in regards to this video, this content. And if you'd like any further information, You can refer to my video descriptions or my channel's bio, either or. Alright, but again, this is the Authentic Empress, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.